government to take away your citizenship, to take away your passport. And this could apply to up to 5 million people, predominantly people of colour. It's enacted the fantasy which people like the British National Party and the National Front used to entertain decades ago. It's actually turned it into policy. And it's gone through with scarcely a scrap of coverage. Again and again now, the government is passing these massive, history-changing bills, and the media is looking elsewhere. How can this be? What's going on here? What is this hypnosis which we seem to be under? Media and government, government and media, the same figures go round and round. And they use all the skills and all the contacts which they accumulated as journalists and deploy that cleverness on behalf of their new political masters. Allegra Stratton is a classic example of this. She worked in newspapers and television before becoming the Prime Minister's spokesperson. She was the one who was caught laughing about that Christmas party and had to resign. Basically the fall guy for Johnson, because the favourite Tory blood sport is shooting the messenger. But she was indicative of this meshing of media and government. If the media exists for a purpose, it is to hold power to account. But the great majority of the media reinforces power. Boris Johnson is the most dangerous Prime Minister we've had in the entire democratic era. He creates this impression of being relaxed and funny and spontaneous and bumbling and incompetent. It's all calculated. And he disarms people with this impression of bumbling incompetence, but he's absolutely ruthless when it comes to the pursuit of power. And he senses weakness in our political system like a shark smells blood. And so he homes in and exploits that weakness to great effect. If there's one thing that the history of the past 100 years tells us, it is beware of the clowns. People who seem ridiculous are the most dangerous people of all in politics. We weren't sufficiently aware of the dangers of the clowns, and we elected one as Prime Minister. The whole thrust of unaccountable power is that you can do things that other people can't. You don't have to abide by the rules because you're powerful. You're above all that. It's the other people who do. And so we have this situation in this country where the Prime Minister and his cronies are mocking us. As we abide by the COVID rules, they just ignore them and laugh in our faces. And while they're doing so, they impose the most draconian legislation in living memory on the rest of us. This is how dictatorship works, and we are sliding towards it at the moment. The motive power of dictatorship is that there's one rule for the elite and a completely different rule for the people.